Hello, podcast. So, this is the Band vs. Artist podcast with Justin and Patrick,
What's up?
and we're missing Dylan today. Maybe we'll get into detail about that later. Today's guest is named Dean CRAMER, and he is the founder and the man behind the Kings of A&R blog. And we're just going to tell you a little bit about it. His Kings of A&R blog is started in 1999, and it was there to discover new music. And Dean wants everybody to know that he is not a mouthpiece for a music company. These are all his opinions, and he's looking for these talented people. Now, the type of audience that he gets on his site are the important people in music, the people who are looking to break artists, to push boundaries. Yes, there's the regular everyday reader, but people come to his site to find who Dean is kind of discovering and writing about because they trust his opinion on what's good music. Many of the bands that he's featured over the years have gone on to, as he'll tell us later, have gone on to successful careers. Have appeared on American Idol, have gotten their music placed in movies and on radio and on TV shows. Some of the artists that he's featured are The Killers, The Fray. I know he's featured Lady Gaga before she was famous. So that's the little spiel about Kings of A&R, and you should really check them out because he only posts good stuff there. And without further ado, here's our interview with Dean. What do you do for artists, and what's your background? I know you have a really cool story that is pretty interesting that people would want to definitely hear.
All right, as far as my background, I mean, from the time I remember, I've always worked, created, and built. Before entering the music business, I worked a couple different jobs. I was involved in a couple different companies. But even prior to pursuing a higher education, which I ended up graduating with a degree in marketing, even before that, I spent years working at a local outdoor clothing and equipment retailer. After graduating a university called Monmouth in New Jersey, I spent time working in financial services. I spent time in the world of big pharma. But then I caught the music bug. A new passion awakened, and I entered the music industry. Now, of course, navigating the world of entertainment is like the water with technology, but I always had a passion for music. And my fascination with music started watching Michael Jackson videos on early MTV.
It's not a bad way to start.
Yes, but that motivated me to learn the steps to stardom, and learn I did. And for the last 10, 11 years, I've collaborated with various music executives on different projects, which has allowed me to travel the globe with chart-topping artists and working with them in all different types of capacities. So I consulted for music labels for probably well over 5 years. I was heavy entrenched in the rock scene, traveling the world with a band that opened up for the likes of Korn, Linkin Park, Disturbed, Breaking Benjamin.
Nice.
So,
and so what would you say? I know you have something, I believe it's called the keys to stardom. I mean, what would you say is the kind of the key for success for today's band or artist trying to make it?
okay, well, I think, as far as the steps to stardom, I think it always starts off with a great song, good players, good musicians. So I think it always starts with a great product.
Mm-hmm.
And from there, I think the next step is finding a voice, promoting yourself, finding an audience, playing out live, promoting yourself online.
Right.
So there are steps within steps within steps, but I think the true catalyst is great songs, great players, great marketing, hard work ethic.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of people in bands or just even as an artist in general, they don't understand the that a band, you kind of have to look at it as a business if you want to really achieve anything. Like you have your garage band that plays for fun, and then you have your people who want to make it, but those people who want to make it have to realize that you have to treat it like it's a job, basically. And I don't think a lot of people understand that.
You do. I always separate artists or musicians or singers in two different categories: hobbyists and professionals.
Right.
Hobbyists do things for fun, and whatever happens, happens. Where professionals, they will wake up every day and figure out, okay, how do I take this to the next level? And I think that's what you're talking about. You have to treat it like a business. You have a store, there's an open sign, and every day you're figuring out, how can I get one more customer in my store?
Right. No, I mean, that's perfect.
Dean, it seems like a lot of artists are trying to work, maybe not totally independently, but a lot of artists are trying to kind of tough it on their own these days. Just, I guess the internet helps make it a little bit more possible. You can reach an audience without actually having to go play in front of them. So, what might be some of those keys to success for an artist who's looking to work independently?
Well, again, whether you're working independently or whether you're working for a major, it's the same process. Playing out live, finding your fan base. It's literally the same role, except when you're independent, you're doing it yourself. You're funding yourself. You're the investor in your band. You're funding everything. Whereas a label subsidizes your career. So, but whether you're a band, having someone subsidize your career, or whether you don't, it's still the same process. You're doing the same thing. So the difference is, in one aspect, you're either paying for the tour bus, or maybe a company is paying some other tour bus helping you out. But the day-to-day is the exact same. Finances just look differently.
Okay.
Right. And would you say nowadays that an artist do the artists really need the labels now? Do you still feel that there's obviously always going to be some sort of use for it, but I feel like there's just so many outlets to really make it worthwhile to not even need a label.
That is true. And as I said, when you look at a label or any company, media company, music company, publishing company, you're looking at this, do I need a company to subsidize my career? Subsidize my band. Do I need a company to subsidize my band? Some of the benefits is that they can maybe tap into an audience that you can't, or their reach through radio, if in fact you're a radio band, may be larger, or they may pay a couple of $1,000s to put you on a billboard that you may not have. So like I said, more marketing, more dollars, more reach. So that is a benefit. That is.
Yeah.
But there's a time and place when you actually need a company to do that. The point is, with the internet, it's easy. Right now, it's easy for a band to get into game. It's very easy. And you have access to an audience. You have a method to get your music out there. So it is easy to get in. And so, yes, you don't need a label to enter the market. Down the road, you may need a label to expand your reach, if that band even needs it.
Right. No, cool. And where do you think, do you kind of see any trends towards where music is heading? Do you feel like certain genres are dominating? Do you feel like things are changing? Are things going more retro? Like, where do you think music is, the kind of the state of music is right now?
Well, I do hope that the future trend is talent. I hope it's talent. Because right now I think music in general is kind of at a standstill. I mean, if you look at the top songs on iTunes, I mean, you have Rihanna, you have Justin Bieber, you have pretty much the same typical pop artist. I mean, I just read that there hasn't been an American artist on the Billboard charts or the top of the charts in the last 8 months. I don't know what's happening to the American artist. It seems like all the artists that are topping the charts are not American artists. But I hope the trend is better music, more musicianship. But I think in this day and age, it's extremely hard to predict trends because we're just living in a global world now. And, you know, we don't, that trend usually can come out of America, but now it can come out of the UK. Now it can come out of China. You don't know where that latest trend's going to come out of, and that sound. So
Definitely. Are there any artists that you would say are maybe taking music towards that, maybe a talent era of music? Anyone who's popular now who you feel is maybe that kind of first artist that's pushing popular music towards more talent based?
Yeah, sort of those out of the box, like, genre benders, sort of.
you know, I mean, I really believe the artist that I feature. I mean, I featured an artist called Kesha today. She's really good. Um, there's, I mean, Jessica Hart. She's from Canada. She's a new artist. She has 500,000 plays on SoundCloud, almost 300,000 streams on Spotify. These are artists without labels. I mean, I think these artists are the future. Um, there's, again, a lot of artists that I feature throughout the week that I think can shape the future of the music business, and they're really, really, really doing well.
I know that for now on the Facebook page, like you said, you kind of introduce indie artists and share music insight and music news. And I thought maybe we could use this opportunity, just based on conversations that we've had, about some of the ideas or original content that you would like to feature or see Kings of A&R producing.
Yeah, I mean, I'm open to anything. I mean, right now, I'm having artists, singers, bands send videos of 5 artists that inspire.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully that will inspire other people. I put it out there on blog and on Facebook, and it seems like people want to see just podcast interviews, industry interviews. The thing is, whatever original content that I deliver, I want to make sure that it's unique and that it captures the audience interest and that it ties into the mission of Kings of A&R.
Right.
The goal is to build a community of artists and musicians along with tastemakers and influencers. It's very, very hard. There are a lot of people that still care about music. There's a lot of people. Problem is, they don't know where to find good music. If they find it, they just stumble over it. But
Right.
so when you go on Kings of A&R, it's, you know what, it's just not, I'm just not a guy that reviews bands. I mean, I spend a lot of time, listening to the music and seeing the story behind the band. If you go on the blog, you'll see a story of the band, how many hits they have, how many SoundCloud streams they have, how many YouTube views they have. So whatever original content that I produce, Kings produce, I want to make sure that it ties in to the overall mission.
Yeah, no, 100%. And I know one of the things I know I told you before that I wanted to talk about, and this is changing gears a little bit, but you have been posting a lot on the Kings of A&R Facebook is about everything what's going on with Kesha and Sony and Dr. Luke, and I feel like that's a really big topic that if you have any insight towards anything that's going on, maybe from a legal standpoint or even as just someone who's worked in the music industry, kind of shed some light on that big mess that's happening.
Yeah, it's really an unfortunate situation for both Kesha and Dr. Luke. Again, I'm not going to accuse. I mean, I know the allegations against the producer. I wasn't there. I have no idea if it's true or not, so I'm not going to point fingers. The truth is, she wants out of the contract, and she doesn't want to work with Dr. Luke. Now, according to Sony, the deal is really between her and Dr. Luke, and Sony is distributing. But Sony is on the record saying, we're not going to release Kesha. And they provided a solution saying, listen, Kesha, you can go ahead and perform and write a record, write songs without Dr. Luke. You don't have to. But I don't think she wants that because she still sees the money going in his pocket. So she wants out. And they're not going to let her out. So either two things, either she's just not going to record another record, or, I just think that the whole thing is a disaster. It's a PR nightmare for the label. Dr. Luke has to deal with them, and I believe, I think it expires in the fall. I can't see Sony renewing his contract because of the PR nightmare. But anyway, again, I don't know the outcome, but I just have a feeling they're going to have to settle outside of court because if Kesha doesn't make a record, they don't make money. Her career is ruined. So, again, I don't know the final outcome, but it is a nightmare for both parties involved.
Right. I read that she still owes Sony 6 records. And,
that's right.
And as far as I know, what has she only recorded? Like 2 records, I think. So
yeah, that's right.
There's nowhere for her to go. I know she posted, she was singing, I believe she was singing Amazing Grace on YouTube or something because she was allowed to sing that because that's a song, that's not copyrighted, that's not licensed, it's just a cover song. But she can't create any of her own original music and do anything with it. And that's just a crazy thought, especially being an artist myself, that you're just not allowed to make music anymore because of a contract. But that's, as you talked about, when you sign those contracts, you're expected to do certain things, and these people are going to handle all of your business. So from a business standpoint, that's binding. It's crazy.
Yeah, Kesha is definitely there's going to be behind the music, and Kesha's going to be a major episode. She is a behind the music story because of a pop star that has sold millions of records on top of the charts. I think it was, maybe 2010, every time you turn on the radio was one of her songs playing. And to see that it's come to this, where your career could literally be over, she can't record any music, they won't release her from contract. It's again, it's one of those music industry artist disaster stories.
Yeah, and I know from the Dr. Luke side, regardless of what his allegations, whether they're true or not, this guy over the last 10 years or so is responsible for almost like 50 of the top songs of the last 10 years stemming from everybody. Miley Cyrus, Flo Rida, Katy Perry, Kesha, Rihanna, almost anybody that you've seen on the Billboard charts, this guy has done a song or album with them. So I feel like he's just someone who's so high up there that whatever's thrown at him, he's probably going to, wind up okay.
Probably.
Yeah. It's kind of crazy.
Definitely.
Yeah. And I guess the last question for you would be, you work with a lot of these bands and artists on development and just kind of, I guess, their careers. Who are some of the artists that you're working with now and sort of guiding along the lines, if you want to give them a shout out or a plug?
Well, basically, I have a program called Steps to Stardom. And literally, it's a step-by-step process of taking you to the next level of how do you find your voice online? How do you find a story? Developing a narrative. All that. So as far as the bands and the singers who I'm working with right now, I'm working with a bunch of them. They're in the early stages, but a lot of the singers that I've worked with have landed up on The Voice. They landed on American Idol. They landed on the X Factor. They won either regional awards or local awards. So that's what I'm working on.
Very cool.
All right, cool. And anything else you want to add or talk about before we go?
Not just, again, thanks for the discussion and looking forward to future discussions.
Yeah. All right. Thank you, Dean, for being our guest.
Thank you.
And now, a word from our sponsors.
Okay, so save it to Microsoft Word. No, oh, gosh darn, my computer won't work.
Well, take it to Computer Sam NYC. This guy can fix anything. He'll fix a broken laptop, a broken computer, a broken cell phone, broken tablet. This guy even fixes beepers. Who knows they made beepers anymore? I didn't. Just listen to all these satisfied customers.
My computer was broken, and all of a sudden, whoa, it's great again.
Mommy said the computer was broken, and then we called, what's his name? Sam, yeah, we called Sam, and now it's great again.
Hi, this is Nicolas Cage. I wanted to tell everybody how great Computer Sam really is. My computer wasn't working, and now it is, so that's great.
So remember, check computersam.nyc for your computer needs. See ya!
All right, so thanks to Dean from Kings of A&R. Here's the time where me and Patrick are gonna pretend that we're seamlessly transitioning from interview into conversation. Seamlessly. First, we'll address the giant elephant in the room that we've been gone for 3 weeks, partially because we didn't really have time to get together, and the other partial would be that I had ACL surgery, reconstruction surgery. So for anyone who doesn't know, ACL is a ligament in your knee that's used for pivoting and movement, and mine tore off. So they took one from a dead guy and they inserted it in my knee, and it's taken me, well, it's gonna take me about 6 months to get to some sort of normal, and I just started walking without crutches for the first time yesterday. So
Yeah, Justin didn't like us calling him Tiny Tim that much.
yeah, Tiny Tim, Gimpy, Limpers McLimperson. Right now, my right knee is much bigger than my left knee, so very aesthetically pleasing when you look at it. The bottom of my foot is bruised and black for some reason. I mean, I didn't have foot surgery, but there. Half my leg is shaved, and I also don't feel anything in half my leg. But that's okay, because I have a new ACL.
There you go.
But in the last 3 weeks also, Process of Fusion has recorded 3 times.
Yes, we have.
And none of us have all ever been to any of these sessions. I was at none. Jomar was at one by himself. Then it was Patrick, Dylan, and Rose, and then just Patrick and Rose, right?
No, it was just me and Dylan that second time.
Oh, yeah. So I can't really give you any insight into what we did, so that's where Patrick's going to come in.
Well, first it was just Jomar who tracked on drums our song Deja Vu and our song Closer. Closer is one that we had tracked previously with John Santos at 1176.
Yeah.
Right? Studios in Queens.
1176.
But it's going to be a slightly different take on the song for our new album, so we wanted to re-record it, not just copy and paste what we had previously. Figured that would be too easy of a way out. It wouldn't fit the vibe of this album.
Yeah, we just love spending extra money that we don't have.
Yeah, that's also a good point. We love spending money that we really don't have any business spending. So let's.
But shout out to Nick at Zin Records, because if we were going to spend our money that we don't have on anything, we'd like to spend it with him.
That's a good point.
Making music.
Making music, and of course then going to Funchos, which is a wonderful burrito place by Zen Records.
Shout out to Funchos. I hope you guys are listening and we get an endorsement.
And a Funchos endorsement. Imagine a Funchos commercial in the middle of the Band versus Artist podcast.
That would be fantastic.
That would be. I agree.
So what else? What else happened during the recording of Deja Vu and Closer? How is it sounding? I obviously am the only one who is not on the tracks. I have to go record my part. But from what I've heard so far, it sounds superb, and the pressure's on me to do a good job.
Well, we upped the tempo to the song Closer by a few BPM. It makes it a little bit more lively, a little bit more upbeat, slightly different guitar tones. I mean, obviously you're using different amps, you're going to get a different tone. So, just a kind of, I think Closer is getting a facelift would be a good way to put it.
A 2016 sound.
The 2016 version of Process of Fusion's interpretation of the song. So, we're going to probably still have some string sounds, maybe violin, maybe another string, maybe a cello, and definitely piano on the song. Now, the song Deja Vu, which is really exciting for us to record. To be honest, in the studio we were tracking Closer, and it got to be a little boring after a while. We played in the song for 4 years or so. So when we finally got to Deja Vu, even though ironically the name says you've been there before, but we hadn't been there before tracking it, so
I still haven't been there.
But do you feel like you have?
Well, we'll see. I'm going to admit, everybody loves Deja Vu. Listening to it, the fans love it. My band loves it. I'm not the biggest fan of it. So, but it's okay, because normally we go and we record a song. In the past, we've recorded songs where it's not our favorite song, and then we record and we're like, wow, this sounds really good. I kind of like this song better than the other stuff. So I'm really hoping that I impress myself with Deja Vu when I record it, and I become a big fan, as much of a big fan as everyone in the world is about it, except for me, apparently. Just like everyone's a huge fan of what brought us here on our Connections album.
Except maybe us, just the two of us.
Yeah, on what brought us here from our last EP on Connections, everybody loves it. We never play it because we don't like it. And it was in the simplest, I guess. If you listen to it, it doesn't sound too complicated. Lyrically, it's nothing that we ever would just be like, wow, I can't believe you wrote this song. But it was the hardest thing that we ever wrote.
It was, yeah.
For a variety of reasons that caused Patrick and I great frustration. That we literally wrote word for word after each other. Like we just didn't know what to do. But it came out. People love it. My wife says it reminds her of The Lion King, and that it should be in some sort of play or Disney song, which I guess is cool.
Kudos to Dylan for writing a Disney song.
Kudos to Dylan. Maybe he has a big career. Maybe that's why he's not here tonight, but we'll let him tell you about that next time.
Yep.
What else? Oh, March 26th, Patrick.
March 26th.
Tell everyone March 20th. Here's something else that I'm not involved in at all, but I give my blessing.
Yes, thank you for your blessing, because if we did not have it, we would not be playing.
Well, you'd probably still play it.
No, I don't know. I wouldn't, Anyway, March 26th, for those of you who are fans of our band already, you know that we draw a lot of influence from the band Coheed and Cambria. Well, on March 26th, we have the privilege of playing a Coheed cover/tribute set alongside of a lot of other bands from Staten Island that are covering some of their favorite bands. I think someone's covering Sublime, someone's covering Weezer. I know there's some...
Blink-182.
Yeah.
There's going to be a covers of... I think only Sibling, it's their show, right?
Yep, and they're playing
Only
Weezer.
Sibling is doing Weezer.
Yeah.
Those are our buddies.
That's going to be really interesting. I'm curious.
Yeah, Blink-182. I don't remember...
Someone's covering MCR, My Chemical Romance.
Yeah.
That's exciting, too.
And,
Sublime.
of course, POF decided to tackle Coheed and Cambria because it's it's the easy thing to do. That's why. Also, I'm sure you'll figure it out if you know our band. But I have no business being on stage as my bandmates rock their brains out to Coheed and Cambria. There's just nothing that I would add that would make it sound any better than they could already do without me. So I'll be a spectator, merch guy. Maybe I'll jump around on... Well, I can't jump. Never mind.
No, you really shouldn't jump.
Yeah, maybe...
You shouldn't do any jumping.
I will watch. Maybe I'll take some pictures. I guarantee something will happen. I won't even be there.
Maybe I shouldn't even hint something this without, totally being sure. But I wonder how possible it would be to have... maybe one song that's totally ready off the new album to have available as like a giveaway at the show. Maybe a To the Wolves.
To the Wolves. Yeah. I mean, I'm with it.
Yeah, I think that would be a pretty cool idea.
I'm with it without an H. With it. I'm totally with it. Yeah. So, To the Wolves would be our first single off of the Parallel and Perpendicular. We love the way it sounds, and we know you guys are going to love it too. And the hope is that it will be available as a single by the end of this month, which is definitely a possibility because it's basically done.
Yeah. Sorry.
Patrick loves to go into fits of coughing.
I don't know why.
During the podcast.
It doesn't make any sense. I don't cough any other time during the day. So, should I talk a little bit more about the Coheed set, what we're playing, the songs we're playing?
Yeah, sure.
All right, so for those of you who are fans of Coheed and Cambria, there are certain songs that we can't not play. I mean, I think people are going to expect to hear Welcome Home. People are going to expect to hear Favorite House Atlantic, probably in Keeping Secrets. So we'll definitely be playing all of the above. And hopefully we play some more backwall stuff too, maybe some of the proggier stuff. But
Well, how long is the set?
45 minutes. It's a pretty good set.
And where is this show taking place?
This show is taking place at Phoenix Studios on the south shore of Staten Island off of Arthur Kill Road. Pretty easy to get to, not far from the highway, from the West Shore Expressway.
I believe we go on at 7 o'clock.
Yep.
Do we know the cover charge?
$8.
That's not bad.
Not bad at all.
Not bad.
To sing along the whole night really isn't bad.
Yeah,
at all.
you don't have to be subjected to any of our 7-minute songs. You'll just have to hear someone else's, our take on someone else's 7-minute songs.
Yeah, it's a good gig.
It's a good gig. But I guess that's it.
I think so.
All right, so thank you all for listening to the Band vs. Artist podcast with Process of Fusion. And for all of our new listeners that are finding us through the Kings of A&R site, stay tuned because we have a lot of cool people that we're going to be interviewing along the way. We're going to learn lots of things about the music industry, about being an indie artist, and just about being a creative person trying to make it in 2016. So until next time, peace out.
Peace.
Check.
Bam, bam, bam. DJ Khaled.
We the best. I'm so hood. All right.